Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Building the Decks. My name is Nemo and we are playing Jules the Planeswalkers 2013. Let's go into my deck manager and show you what deck... Ooh, spoilers. Let's see if I can make it. Nope, I can't, but there it is, Collective Might. Let's go in here and talk about how I built my deck, why I built my deck the way it is. And yeah, exciting. Collective Might will be one of the very last decks on this series. Of course, the 9th is when the new DLC comes out. May not be the last DLC, just because there's still some time left for this game to get some more DLC packs. But who knows, right? Anyways, that does mean that as for now, Collective Might and Goblin Gangland are the only decks I haven't done a deck build on yet, and I'm doing Collective Might. There's 2 more comments, so that means 3 more videos in this series after this one at least. But that also means that Goblin Gangland will likely be the last deck I'm going to do, because I'm obviously going to do the DLC decks as they're released. So yay, Goblins gets to be the last. Haha, screw you, Goblins. No, but I am doing that deck though. I'm a completionist. I want to do every deck, even though I don't like the deck. So I'm gonna do it, but I'm happy that it's gonna be the last one. Alright, so enough rambling. Let's get in here. And one thing I don't like right now, I'm just gonna mention it straight up front. Land ratio. 9 forest and 11 plains. Now there are the Hero of Bladeholds, which are really powerful in this deck, that require 2 plains, but there's also Overrun, which requires 3 forests. And plus, the guys that actually allow you to draw a different type of land require forests to be able to be played, namely the Civic Wayfinders. So, if you're only drawing plains, then that's worse than only drawing forests. Because, at least if you're only drawing forests, you could play a Civic Wayfinder and get yourself a plains. You can't do that the other way around. So, I really don't like how this land ratio is. I would have preferred 12 forests and 8 plains, something like that. That would have been pretty nice. But 9 forests and 11 plains is bad. But unfortunately, it requires you to run too many forests to be able to change that land ratio. And that is just not worth it. So, that is just an unfortunate thing here. I really wish that we could, just edit this land ratio. Come on. Just next Jules of Planeswalkers, let us edit our land ratios. Please? Alright, so into the deck. Into the deck. We are going into the deck. Phew. I don't even know that. I think that's if you go on a ship and you go down. No, that wouldn't be called into the deck. Nah, whatever. Total randomness. Alright, let's focus, Nemo. Let's focus. So 3 Evolving Wilds is the way I like my lands for now. Gives me 23 lands, and this deck works better. I mean, it has a token generating theme, and I'm gonna tell you right now that I don't really like that theme. Because any theme deck means that you gotta draw your tokens, and you gotta draw the cards that make your tokens bigger, and it just requires you to have more luck. And anything that requires you to have luck is bad. Basically, unless it's just extremely good. But most of the time, just cards that focus on luck, or decks or themes that focus on luck, are kind of bad. This is why I changed the Aura Servant deck to be a mono white deck, and that's why I don't like the token theme of this deck. So I'm just running the strongest cards, and if you're not running the token theme, you can't really run a late game theme, because there are some really powerful late game creatures in this deck, the Nova Blast Worms, but I don't know, I don't think you can build a deck around that. So basically, if you're not running the token theme, you gotta be as aggressive as possible with this deck. So that's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm running 3 lands. 3 Evolving Wilds, that is. 23 lands in total. Obviously you want to run Swords to Plowshares. It is still one of the best removals in the game, so you want to run those. Oh, wait, there's more 1-drops. Elvish Sky Sweeper is a 6 mana removal spell, so and it doesn't do anything other than just destroy a target creature. Only creatures with flying, by the way. So that's how I look at this. 6 mana removal spell for only creatures with flying. Doesn't do anything special, so no thanks. I mean, you can play this guy early, but as a 1-1 he's not likely to do a whole lot, and having him out as a 1-1 means that he might get killed early on as well. There's plenty of creatures that obviously kill a 1-1. Just think of all the pingers in the format, but not only that, just anything trades with it. His body is not good, so it's all about his ability, and if it's all about his ability, that means it's a 6 mana removal spell for only flying creatures. Yeah, no thanks there. Sprout, I'm not running the token theme as I just mentioned, so that is not a card that I wanna see. So yeah, that's basically it. If you run the token theme, then you want to run Sprout. If you don't want to run Sprout. It's easy as can be. Eladamri Skull. I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually considered not running Eladamri Skull. The reason is, every time with this deck, like I mentioned, it's an aggressive deck, and playing Eladamri Skull means you're not playing on curve, because you're not dropping a 2-drop. Instead, you're playing Eladamri Skull to get yourself a 3-drop you want to drop later, or a 4-drop or something. And isn't it just better to get your creature early? Or to just be able to get your creature, draw it, and play it? Because a lot of these creatures in this deck are pretty much just as powerful as each other. Most of these creatures, there's not really very many creatures in this deck that stand out above the rest. So I don't know if it's really worth it to run a tutor card for creatures in this deck. I do like that it's an instant. Situation, just off the top of my head, a situation where this could be extremely useful, probably the best situation you could find yourself in with this card, is, let's say you happen to have 2 mana open, you've got Eladamri Skull in your hand, and somebody plays something that makes you discard. Well, obviously you play Eladamri Skull in response, because it's an instant speed. And what do you get? You get Wilt-Lief Liege, and then you discard that in parentheses, because obviously you don't discard it. Instead, you put it onto the battlefield. Hey, thanks, bro. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's a good move you can make with that card. Other than that, I don't know. I think a lot of times I'd almost just want to get like Dauntless Escort or something. See, this is the thing about this deck. There's not really a card, again, that stands out above the rest. So it's got to be, every time you play it, you got to think about, what I want to get. I mean, in Ancient Wilds, I pretty much defaulted to always getting the 8/5 guy with haste that can't be targeted by anything non-green. That guy is just good. But in this deck, I don't know, I think every game is going to be different what you get, depending on how many creatures you got on the board, which creatures you got on the board, and etc. So yeah, but it's interesting. For now, I've decided to leave it in, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if it's gonna lose me a game or something, then I might just take this out later. I don't know yet, but for now, it's in the deck. It's in the deck for the deck build. It managed to make it this far. I haven't really lost the game due to the tempo disadvantage from this card, but I can just see it being a problem. So, anyways, but obviously, I mean, there's always going to be situations as well where it's going to be really useful to be able to tutor for whatever card you need, and it is an extra copy of whatever creature you need at the time, so that makes it good. Fists of Ironwood is I mean, you get 2 tokens. It's just card advantage. You get 2 dudes for 1 card. And it's pretty useful. There's a lot of cards in my deck, even though I'm not really running the token theme. The token theme. I still have a lot of creatures in my deck that boost my other creatures up. So, even though they're just 1/1s, they're gonna be pretty powerful. So yeah, that's nice. I like the card in general. Intangible Virtue, however, again, not running the token theme. Don't want this. It can be really useful, can be not so useful if you draw this instead of drawing a creature, and I figured there's not enough tokens in my deck that I really want to use this, And the creatures I do use that make tokens, I usually don't even make tokens with them. So I guess we'll get to that in a second. But I'm talking about these guys. I usually don't even use their abilities. Anyways, moving on here, the Knotvine Paladin is just a really good creature, and this one was just obvious to me. You want to include this one as the 2-drop creature. Right from the start I knew I wanted this one, because if you're gonna have a lot of creatures in this deck, even if you're not running token theme, again, you do have some stuff, and you are running an aggressive deck still, so you're gonna have a lot of creatures out early. So this guy is gonna be attacking for a lot of damage usually, and obviously he's amazing with Intangible Virtue and a bunch of tokens. But again, that is the nuts draw that you can get with cards like that. But sometimes instead you just draw this instead of a creature and you're screwed. So that is the difference between going with the luck deck or not going with the luck, I guess. But this guy is really good though. And of course he combos up well with Qasali Pridemage as well. This guy destroys artifacts or enchantments. Just as a 2-2 with that ability, I would run him. Heck, probably if he was a 2-2 with no abilities, I'd run him in this deck. So yeah, and aside from that, he also has the random Exalted right here, which may be relevant, may not be relevant, who knows, but it's certainly, you know, appreciated that there's a bonus ability. Is pretty much how I see that. But yeah, he's good, and he gets rid of artifacts and enchantments. Gotta run that guy. And the reason I say I would run this guy even if he was just a 2-2 is there's a lot of cards like this guy is a 2-1, and this guy is a 1-2. And again, for these I was looking at the Guildmage and this guy, and I was like, which is the best one? And in the end, I do feel that the Jade Mage is going to be the most likely to have its ability be useful. But in the end, I really just consider the fact that most of the time I just have something to play other than making some sap rolling tokens. And so most of the time, none of these abilities are going to be useful in any of these cards. And in that case, why not just run the one that is easiest to cast and is a 2-2 rather than a 2-1 or a 1-2? I mean, that is just the decision I make. So yeah, basically I run the guys that are 2-2s in this deck. That is how that cookie crumbles. And these guys, not good enough as they're 2-cost and less powerful than a 2-2. And I'm not really into the whole token theme with this. So yeah, I'm usually, I just find myself not really using their abilities. That's what I'm trying to say. Although this guy, I guess, I've played him and been in games where I just go out of my way to make sure I use his ability, because he's useless as just a 2-1. You're not going to be attacking for 1. And yeah, he's just not so good. Anyways, moving on. Transluminant. I don't know why I want to say it like that, but I know he's a Transluminant, but I just want to call this a Transluminant. Anyways, makes a spirit token. Again, this is just a 2-2 for 2 mana. That's why I run it. And occasionally you get to make a spirit token with it. Nice. Not bad, but basically he's in there because he's a 2-2 for 2 mana. Sigil Blessing. Nice combat tricks. I'm running the aggressive deck, so I want to run these. Yeah, why not? I mean, usually it's really useful. You get to, do some trickery. And you can choose whether you want to bump the guy who's blocked or someone else, and then have the guy who's blocked get +1/+1. Depending on the situation, whatever you need. And that may not seem like much, but it's this choice that makes a card useful. Having that choice makes a card more useful than otherwise. But yeah, if you're attacking with a lot of creatures, this is obviously gonna be game winning at times, and otherwise it's going to just be a good combat trick, so why not, right? It's in there. Beastmaster Ascension I don't like, because it's not a creature, and that means I have one less creature, and having one less creature means it's harder to trigger this guy. It's these kind of enchantments kind of work against themselves in that way. That's always how I look at it with enchantments, and indeed also equipment, because you need someone equipped with the Behemoth Sledge. If you don't have anyone equipped, he's useless. So yeah, so in that case I'd rather just have another guy. For Behemoth Sledge, I feel that the card is powerful enough that I want to run at least one, even though that's the case. For Beastmaster Ascension, I don't think so. It requires to be able to get in there. It requires to have enough creatures where it matters. It has a lot of luck factor involved to it, and again, I don't like the luck factor that much. I've had games certainly where this won me the game. A lot of times though as well, I got a 2-drop, I got a 3-drop, I got a 4-drop. When do I even play this? Like, am I gonna slow down my casting of creatures by playing a Beastmaster Ascension? That just doesn't seem like a good plan most of the time when I have it in my hand. I'm just like, yeah, but I want to play my 3-drop creature now. You know, and that's, again, the same problem I had with the Eladamri Skull, of course. But yeah, Eladamri Skull is a shooter. I can get whatever I need with it. And this is a luck-based card, so there's the difference why Eladamri Skull is still in the deck, even though that's the case. And this is not. So yeah, Behemoth Sledge though, again, I just, the lifelink and the trample, it makes it a very flexible card. You do need the mana to be able to equip it. Sometimes you have something better to do. A lot of times, in fact, I have something better to do than equip this guy to one of my creatures. But, I mean, I don't know, if you have 6 mana open, this may happen. And someone stepped out, you may just want to equip this and strike with it. Why not? You know, that's when these kind of cards really become good. And sometimes you really need to win the race, and lifelink is not bad, you know. And if they're chump blocking you, you get trample. So it's just a flexible card, deals with a lot of situations. But on the other hand, it is an equipment, and equipment does have the problem of not being a creature. And it's also 6 mana to play and equip, which may slow you down a lot. So, gotta keep that in mind. But for now, there's one of them in the deck. So yeah. Just to make the deck a little bit more flexible and capable of dealing with more kinds of situations. Night Guard Patrol. Yeah, he's a 2-1 for 3 mana. I mean, if he was a 3-1, a 3-2 with these abilities, he'd be pretty good. I mean, he'd be quite powerful. But as it is, 2-1, I don't really care about his abilities. He's a 2-1 for 3 mana. You know, that's how I look at it. I see that and I just go, yeah, nice abilities, bro, but you're 2-1 for 3 mana. No thanks. Civic Wayfinder, I talked about this guy a little bit. Get you your lands. Again, there's Overrun in this deck. There's the Hero of Bladehold in this deck. There's a few cards that require 2 green as well. So you want to be able to get the right kinds of lands. So Civic Wayfinder helps with that, and he's a dude. So yeah, nice. Dauntless Escort. Yeah, I mean, this guy is amazing. I don't really know what else to say. He's just so good. He helps protect you guys from getting wiped out. And he's just incredible. Because he's a 3 mana free. So you'd almost always run him anyways. But then he has this ability which is just bonkers, and for 3 mana that's so well priced as well for this ability. And I mean, if they try to Lightning Helix it, you destroy him in response and they don't get their life. Like, there's more situations than just saving all your guys from Wrath of God or whatever. Then there's more situations that make his ability useful as well. Which is another consideration, you know, like I just said, the Lightning Helix thing. Maybe they want to play Intimidation Bolt on it, but you sack it in response and you can still attack that turn. I don't know, there's just a lot of situations where that is useful, aside from saving all your other guys. But, I mean, being able to save all your guys with it, insane. You get to just pretty much, he's a freebie, you know, you get to destroy this guy and save your Hero of Bladehold. I mean, you play this turn 3 and then turn 4 is when the really powerful creatures come out. So, isn't it awesome that you're able to save them because you played a 3-drop? Before that, you don't even need to slow you down your game plan and everything. I don't know, I'm rambling on a lot. But another thing I really like about his ability is it doesn't cost you mana. So you can just tap out, safe in the knowledge that Dauntless Escort will be there to save your guys from imminent death. Midnight Hunting, great. Again, not running the token theme, but even then, it's still great, and there's still a lot of creatures that make my guys bigger. I like the Fists of Ironwood, so I for sure like Midnight Hunting in this deck. Scion of the Wild, again a little bit luck based, but this deck does fit the bill, you know, for a creature like this. And again, I'm not running the token deck, but he is still pretty powerful regardless. He just, you know, I'm trying to play aggressively with this deck. That is basically what it tries to do. And getting out like a 5-5 or something, or 6-6. I don't expect this guy to be huge, but I expect him to be relevant most of the time. So I run him for that reason. Trophy Hunter, meh. Why doesn't it just have reach? You know, it's so expensive to do stuff. Like maybe they have a 1/1 flyer, then it's great. But how many 1/1 flyers are there? Otherwise, you have to pay 4 mana to kill a flyer. If they have a 5/5 flyer out there, you're never gonna kill it with this guy. I don't know. Why isn't this just the guy with reach that can stop him from attacking you? I have to spend too much mana on this. So yeah. Anyways, Hero of Bladehold is obviously incredible. Let's look at the foil one. Why not? 4 mana, 3/4 with Battle Cry. So he makes all my other guys attack for more. And whenever he attacks, put 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. And this ability triggers first, and then the Battle Cry goes off. So they're attacking for 2 damage each. And it combos very well with other creatures in this deck as well. So yeah, just again, this is what I like though. I mean, I say I'm not running the token theme, but there's a lot of token stuff in my deck regardless. And I like these random extra bonus tokens, basically, is what it is, that get in there and just become huge when you drop guys like Leonin Armorguard. I know this is a bad card in general. I'm not gonna dispute that. I know Loxodon Hierarch is generally a better card than this guy, but I am running a deck that is gonna have a lot of creatures, and this guy, I've seen him do work in this deck. So yeah, he gets my guys +1/+1. I mean, that's nothing compared to Wilt-Lief Liege, but it's another 4-drop that makes my guys attack for more, and I like that. I felt like that was what this deck needed over anything else that I could insert instead of him in his place, I guess. So yeah, gets in there, gives you guys +1/+1 when he comes in. Of course, he doesn't combo well with Hero of Bladehold, because the creatures that get in, you know, those are during combat. You can't like play this guy in response to those creatures, or not in response, but when those creatures are down there, so you can't pump those guys the same turn they come into play, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But other than that, he's pretty good. I thank you, sir. Maybe. I'll have to see about that. Loxodon Hierarch is a 4 mana guy, and he gains you 4 life when he enters the battlefield, and he has an ability that saves your guys for 2 mana. But if I'm dropping a 4 mana guy, I likely don't have 2 mana left to spend. And I really like this creature, but I just found that it doesn't do too well in this deck. It really, again, I'm looking for the tempo advantage here. I want to be aggressive with my deck, and this guy slows the deck down a bit. And I've got these Dauntless Escorts that do the same thing, but they don't require mana, and they don't just regenerate it, they make your guys indestructible. Why can't I zoom in? Okay, there we go. I don't know what was going on there. So yeah, they make my guys, like there's cards that say your creatures can't regenerate from this, and that Loxodon Hierarch doesn't save you from, but Dauntless Escort does. So I feel like just Dauntless Escort is a better card in general, and I don't need too much of these effects. So maybe one Loxodon Hierarch. I might replace it later. I don't know. There's just a lot of cards that might be replaced later with this deck. And that's not because I didn't do my homework on it. It's just that very many of these creatures are about just evenly powerful. So it's really difficult to see what is the exact perfect way to build this deck. But I feel like I come close enough that I can do the deck build. Marshal's Anthem, maybe a little bit expensive, but this could really be very powerful, and it's another card that makes your guys bigger. So, and just yeah, I mean, Marshal's Anthem is classically always been very useful in the previous Duels planes. So I'm not gonna really contest that or anything. Wilt-Lief Liege is, I feel like, the best creature in the deck. Obviously, he's your liege, so he makes all you guys bigger. If they're green and white, they get +2/+2. And randomly, this ability down here, the last paragraph, may be useful, may not be useful. Honestly, I've yet to see it be useful for me. I don't know why. I just don't happen to go up against decks that are trying to discard me when I play this deck. But and when I do, they just don't happen to have those cards or something. I don't know. But generally, this is just a really good ability, though. So. Yeah, I mean, and it's a bonus, again, it's a bonus, so, great. And it's a 4/4/4. What more could you ask of a card? Parallel Lives, again, not running the token theme. Great card, but, again, it's not a creature himself. I mean, you gotta get lucky with this card. Sometimes you play it and then you don't draw any tokens. Sometimes you play it and you draw a bunch of tokens, you know, it's... I don't know. I'm not that thrilled about cards like this, but it is a powerful card, and I won't deny that. When it works well, it works really well. So, End Queen, too slow. I probably wouldn't even run this in the token theme deck. So, yeah, I mean, for 5 mana, I expect something game winning, not that. Phyto Hydra, maybe useful in against some decks. This card is just extremely useful. Against some other decks, though, not really. But yeah, that's why I don't run it, though, because again, luck based. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But I have had games, especially I've had a game where I played against the Phyto Hydra, where the guy actually kicked my ass because he had it. I actually named that game Phyto Hydra, that video. But I don't know. I personally, I just there's other 5-drops I want to run. There's Overrun, which you obviously have to run. And there's the Juniper Order Ranger, which I've just become a big fan of this guy. He doesn't seem too powerful. But for 5 minutes, like, yeah. He does stuff, though. He gets in there, gets things done. He gets all you guys to be more powerful. And if you play Hero of Bladehold turn 4... and then play Juniper Order Ranger turn 5, and then attack with Hero of Bladehold that turn, and all those guys get bigger, Juniper Order Ranger gets bigger. I mean, this guy just seems like, you know, eggs in a basket or something like that, but he really just isn't, and he just works well. So, I like him. Of course, if you draw this guy and then nothing else, then he's a 2/4 for 5 mana, and that's bad. But, you're guaranteed to at least draw something else, right? And then with the +1/+1 on this guy and on the other guy, together it's at least a 4/5, so then it starts to be worth it. And most of the time you're going to be able to get a lot more out of it than that. So I like the guy a lot, and I feel like in the aggressive deck, I want to be aggressive, so this is the right choice to make out of the 5-drops, is the Overrun and the Juniper Order Ranger. Silklash Spider is a really good card to stop flyers with, but I feel like he's a little bit too slow. And again, I just couldn't find room for this guy with the Juniper Order Ranger. Again, I just want to run these cards, so I couldn't find room for this guy. Might run one later. Again, a lot of stuff that could change up. For now, though, I feel like I don't want to run the guy. So yeah, I also feel like this deck is a lot. Like, this is one of those decks that would really benefit from being able to sideboard because of cards like Silklash Spider, indeed, and Phyto Hydra and stuff like that. But is better in some matchups than in others. But anyways, mini rant ended, and let's continue on. Namata Grove Guardian was really good in the previous game, very good in the forest deck. This game is more tempo based than that game, and he's too slow, so unfortunate. Pale Recluse, land cycling is pretty nice. I haven't really had a use for him, and again, the tempo disadvantage from him I feel like is too it's too much tempo disadvantage, this guy. I don't want to do that turn 2. I want to do something else. But you know, he does give options, and he's always at least somewhat useful, so there's that. But I don't run him though. Pollen Bright Wings. Yeah. Eggs in a basket. Eggs in a basket. You play this, and you should be expecting them to have a kill spell ready and kill your guy in response to this being played. So yeah, that's how that works. Of course, if you do get in, that's great, but it's as a 6 cost, it is a little bit slow, and besides, you only kill them the following turn, right? And you have to have overrun or anything to make it worth it. So I'd rather just play something that makes my guys bigger turn 6, such as Dulcimere Wolfblood. This is basically an extra version of the Liege, is how I count this guy. But he comes in, makes my guys bigger. And the wolf he makes is a 4/4 actually, because this guy makes it bigger. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I just like the guy. He's not incredible. He's not amazing, but again, want to play this aggressively. So he comes in and makes my guys bigger, and I can attack that turn. That's the kind of card I want. So that's why I choose him. I choose you, Dulcimere Wolfblood. Do a barrel roll. What? No. Wilt-Lief the Ancient. I don't. After this, I don't really care anymore, because this is 7 cost country, and I'm playing an aggressive deck. So yeah, that is already a reason not to use these cards. But let's talk about them anyways. Wilt-Lief the Ancient, 7 cost guy, 4/7. He's not that big. Separate creatures and other tree folk creatures get +1/+1. Yeah, but this guy already does that for 6, and he might give them +2/+2. And he does this for all my creatures, not just token creatures, not just Saprolings. There's not that many Saprolings in my deck anyways. Like I can make him with Fists of Ironwood. I can make him with this guy if I wanted to, but for 4 mana, that's making a 1/1 for 4 mana is not that great. Yeah, I mean, this is a spirit, not even a Saproling. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Not even that many Saprolings anyway. So that would mean that if I want to really use this guy, if I really want to get some value out of this guy, I would have to actually use the kicker. And come on now. That would mean... Oh, he's a 6 mana. Okay, well. Blah. He's still worse than Dulcimere though, but he's a 6 mana. My bad. Sorry. Still not gonna run him. But yeah, I mean, that would mean you have to run it. You have to cast him for like maybe 9 mana. Let's be serious, because then you get 3 guys that get +1/+1. Then maybe he's worth it, but that's 9 freaking mana. You should just win the game if you spend 9 mana. So yeah, no thanks on Wilt-Lief. Nova Blastworm, really powerful card. I might consider it again later. Who knows? Who knows? For now, I don't want it, because this is an aggressive deck. But he is very, very powerful. Like, he is gonna get in there for a guaranteed 7. And he's gonna wipe the board of everything else. So, he will be uncontested, basically. So yeah, he is powerful. Very powerful. But 7 mana is a little bit too much for me. I wish he had haste, though. Nah, that would be too insane, though. Biorhythm. It's 8 mana. I like the idea. The idea is basically, this deck has more creatures than most other decks. So, if you play this, you're bound to win, because the opponent will have less creatures to block with, and that means at least one of them will get in, which will take him to at least 0. Let's do a quick recording here. So yeah, that's what Biorhythm is supposed to do, but hey, it's 8 mana, so yeah. that is a little bit too expensive for my liking. By the way, for 8 mana, why couldn't this be an instant spell? Because then it'd be more powerful. I don't know. I don't think that would be broken for 8 mana. Anyways, moving on here. We Living Hive. Just what is this? Trample 6/6 for 8 mana. Okay. When it deals combat damage to a player, which it probably isn't even gonna do. Put that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens onto the battlefield. Wow, that guy is horrible. Why would you ever want to run that? Alright, so that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed this little video, including all the mini rants I did. I know there were a lot of them. 60% creatures. I like that. 60% is about where you want to be with creature numbers. So, yeah, the mana ratio, I don't know. It's not like I would love to have some more relevant 1-drops. Let me say that much. But yeah, 4 mana is where it's at for this deck, isn't it? There's a lot of very powerful 4 mana creatures, so it's hard to make the mana ratio fit perfectly. Anyways, I'll be getting some gameplay, but that probably won't be coming out today. That'll probably be coming out tomorrow. So my name's been Nemo. My name will still be Nemo in the next video. Hope you enjoyed this one. I think I already said that. Let's go back. And I guess that is sort of the stamping procedure. I don't know. Yeah. Look forward to some gameplay with this deck. And I'll be pretty much getting like 2 videos a day of this deck probably. Because the DLC is coming out pretty soon. So I need to just ramp it up a little bit if I want to get some more. If I want to get some gameplay with this deck out there before I move on to the DLC deck. So yeah, see you guys next time, and thanks for watching. I know that was a very weird outro, as I threw like 3 mini rants in between there. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.